The moment that you have a desire, the means of its fulfillment is already contained within it. It's a seed, just like you plant a seed, and if it's an apple seed, you know it's going to grow into an apple tree. Your desires are the same way. Your desire is saying the mechanism for this to grow into the fruit of your desire is already here. In this video, we'll break down what desire is and how we can identify which desires are the ones that God wants us to lean into. In Psalm 37:4, it says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." And this doesn't mean that God rewards good behavior. It means that when you dwell in divine awareness, I am, God begins to whisper through your desires. Let's say that you've always felt a pull to open a retreat center or build a brand that fosters community and healing. Even if you don't have the money or the plan yet, the desire itself is evidence that something has already been planted, because God is awareness itself. It's the field of consciousness that becomes whatever you assume as your identity. So when a desire arises from deep stillness, that's not your ego reaching for something. It's God inviting you into a greater version of yourself. And so the way that you tell the difference between pure desire and egoic desire is that selfish or egoic desires usually are coming from a place of lack or comparison. They come from a place of frustration. They usually feel urgent or tight or obsessive. They depend on validation or controlling others. And almost always they're rooted in some kind of fear or unworthiness. If I had this, then I would feel worthy. And you could think of somebody obsessing over, the hustle harder desire of making seven figures and going after that goal just to prove that you're not a failure. Or maybe you want to achieve seven figures so that you can kind of throw that at somebody who doubted you. That's not divine direction. That's emotional compensation. And pure desires, by contrast, emerge in stillness, not frenzy. It's why being in daily prayer or meditation and listening for the desires of our heart rather than our mind is so important. Pure desires feel energizing, even if they're going to require us to move through challenge. And pure desires invite growth and generosity and expansion. They align with who God is becoming through you. A pure desire might look like starting a business or building a regenerative farm or launching a project that's fully aligned with your values. And even if you don't know how those things will work, the desire comes to you with a sense of rightness that aligns you with inspired action and expands you. When you're fully tapped into a pure desire and aligned with it, you will feel so inspired to take the next step that you can't not do the thing that you need to do. And so anytime you're in procrastination, that's almost always a sign that you're leaning too much into fear or unworthiness. There's something somatically that you need to feel through, because when you tap into the pure desire, that's when action feels easy and effortless. And so if your goal has been, I need to make seven figures, and you're procrastinating at taking the actions you need to take towards that, maybe the opportunity is to sit in stillness and think about, what is the deeper desire? Once you have seven figures, how do you want to contribute to the world? And instead of focusing on the seven figures, focus on the larger vision of the contribution that you want to make. And that almost always, for me, unlocks a next inspired action that's easy to take. And of course, as mystics, we don't want to shame our egoic desires. We can actually follow an egoic desire, and it will eventually lead us to a pure desire. We may just fumble along the way. Any desire is a teacher and a mirror that shows us where we're still creating from fear instead of faith. When we tap into any desire, our ultimate job should be to really track somatically. Does this feel like it's coming from a place of lack or fear, of needing, desperation? Or does it feel expansive and like this is the natural next step, that this is territory that has already been given? That's what we want to assess anytime we have a desire before we start to take action. And this is where physics meets faith. Mystical teachers like Tom Campbell, who I've talked about on this channel before, describe God as the larger consciousness system, which is an intelligent field that's seeking to reduce entropy in reality, increase harmony, and evolve through love. And the mystical Bible agrees with this sentiment. God doesn't just give you pure desires so you'll feel good, although that will be a byproduct of doing the inspired action and following your interest. God gives us desire as harmonic alignment with reality itself. And this is about improving coherence in the collective as much as it is about improving the circumstances of our own personal life. Each true desire is a signal. It brings order to your inner world, yes. It refines your decisions, yes. But it also ripples out into the field, into reality itself, and helps reduce chaos by raising coherence. It attracts other like-minded and like-hearted people who help build out the vision bigger. And this is why our focus on love and pure desires is ultimately a net win for the world and reality as a whole. Because when we focus on pure desires rather than egoic desires, baked into those pure desires is that balancing effect in reality itself. As an example, you might be following a call to be a coach, but if you think into the deeper impact that you want to have as a coach, and instead of focusing on how do I make money as a coach, how do I provide value to the world around me, then you will tap into a larger desire that's packed with more energy, and the inspired action will come more easily. Maybe you want to write the book that you were scared to write, or create a platform that helps others awaken in some way. These aren't just personal dreams. These are pure dreams, pure desires that, when aligned with, can help clean up the field, lower entropy in the world, and really provide an environment that allows everybody more easy access to thriving. Romans 8:28 says, "All things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose." And that purpose is to create in alignment with God, to be a conduit for beauty, truth, and love to flow into reality. Neville Goddard used to say, the moment that you have a desire, the means of its fulfillment is already contained within it. It's a seed, just like you plant a seed, and if it's an apple seed, you know it's going to grow into an apple tree. Your desires are the same way. Your desire is saying the mechanism for this to grow into the fruit of your desire is already here. And Isaiah 55:11 confirms this by saying, "My word will not return to me void. It will accomplish what I desire." That's what a seed is assuming. That's what a seed is. We know that if we plant a seed, it will become the fruit of that seed. And desire is the word, the logos, spoken through your awareness. And contained within that seed is the strength, the surrender, the people, the pain, the power, and the path. You don't have to force it to grow. You just become the soil. An example of this might be a woman who feels called to become a massage therapist in her 30s despite no formal training, but she makes that claim that she's going to go after her desire to help people relax and find alignment. And as she claims that identity as a massage therapist, the path appears as she commits to it. First, a free course shows up, then an unexpected scholarship, then some local massage club who just happens to cross her path opens up new opportunity for her. That's the seed unfolding, but you have to claim the seed. You have to claim the identity first. It's about saying yes to the desire and recognizing that the mechanism to grow that in reality will present itself in perfect timing. Now, here's the thing. When you say yes to a desire that's bigger than your current life, you're going to feel it. And it's not something that you feel in your bank account or your schedule. You feel it literally in your nervous system. Maybe it's the night after you decide to launch some bold new project and suddenly you can't sleep. You feel like an imposter. You spiral about what people are going to think about what you're putting out into the world. That's not a sign to back down. It's a sign that the larger consciousness system, God, is clearing out your doubt. Because all of that unworthiness, all of the fear, all the trapped trauma tied to that question of, am I allowed to even want this or to have this? That rises to the surface when you put your focus on a larger desire. And it's not to sabotage you, but it's so that energy that's been trapped in your system can be seen, felt, and integrated. And this is how reality works. God's mirror works by reflecting back to you the feelings and the sensations that need to be integrated. It's not just reflecting your mind to you, it's reflecting your inner contractions and contradictions. Reality is like an acupuncture needle. It's pressing exactly where the pain still lives inside of you, not to punish you, but to heal all of that past trauma that may have been bypassed because you didn't have the tools or the space to process it in the moment that it happened. We're also processing out generational trauma. And so it's not that you're bad or you did something bad or you should have had a different experience. It's that we're all nodes in the network and we're all processing collective energy in addition to our own personal energy as a way to reduce entropy in the larger consciousness system. In our next video, we're going to unpack how the 12 tribes, the 12 disciples, and the 12 gates of the Bible represent states of consciousness that each of us has to embody and integrate. But here's a preview on it. You don't master these energies mentally. You feel through them. You let them move through you as sensation. And integration looks like sitting with fear without fleeing from it. You breathe into grief without fixing it. You welcome joy without clinging to it, and you feel fully. And as you do that, you begin to rise in vibration, and this opens your decision space and gives you more awareness of the opportunities that are available to you. Let's say that your business partner quits unexpectedly. That can be a traumatic event, especially if you relied on them quite a bit for some aspect of the business. But instead of spiraling into, oh, I'm going to fail without them, instead, you just sit with that sensation, that fear in your chest. Maybe you cry a little bit. You pray and you ask God to perceive these feelings and this situation with you. And you let that fear dissolve and dissipate. And then as that dissipates as heat in your body, it becomes creative potential and clarity arrives. The next step becomes obvious. And every time you do this, your decision space expands and your entire life, all of the opportunities that have come, gone, integrated into your system are about the choices that you made. And expanding in awareness allows you to see the better choices that are available to you in each moment. Expansion of awareness is about you seeing more, you being able to choose better things, and you walking a straighter line towards your desire so that you're not all over the place. And I think this is why the law of attraction has been misunderstood by so many people, because it's not about commanding outcomes with your ego or your mind. It's not about slapping positive thoughts on top of your existing shame. It's really about embodying the identity of the person who already has the desire. You don't just say, I'm going to be a six-figure coach. You become someone who believes that your voice heals. You trust that your wisdom is worthy of investment. You live in the state of already being chosen, and then people choose you. That's the mystical law in motion. God's system is based on harmony in the larger consciousness system, and harmony only comes when your conscious claim, I am worthy, matches your subconscious feeling, this truly belongs to me. And that fusion is called faith in scripture. And in mysticism, it's identity-based manifestation. So what is desire? Desire is A sacred signal from God, a seed of fulfillment, a mirror for your current identity to recognize itself and expand. It's a call to reduce chaos and expand in harmony. You do it first inside of yourself, and then that ripples into the rest of the world. Your desire is how God evolves, how love expands, how order comes from chaos. So we don't need to fear our desires. We simply feel them and follow them with humility, courage, and trust. In our next episode, we're going to decode the power of 12. 12 tribes, 12 disciples, 12 gates. You'll learn what each one of those represents and how to integrate their energy by feeling your feelings, opening your nervous system, and walking the territory God has already given to you. Until then, hold your desire like a sacred flame. Really feel into this new recognition that all desire is a seed and that it must have the mechanism for you to achieve it because all seeds grow into the fruit that they've been programmed to grow into. Let reality reveal what needs to be felt inside of you by sitting still with yourself and tracking somatically the sensations that come up in your body. This is how you find deeper presence with God, and then trust that your joy, when aligned with God, is healing the larger consciousness system in real time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how you're going after your desires or what your big pure desires are. Let's do this together in community. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.